After 10 years of chopping wood, I am invincible. Chapter 31. Why don't I help you? Ding Haisheng solved the opponent, and then joined forces with Gu Qingzhou to deal with the monstrous man. This shady man's cultivation base is slightly inferior to Ding Haisheng in the late stage of the 8th rank Ashura realm, but slightly higher than Gu Qingzhou. After a dozen moves, Gu Qingzhou kept retreating, making his face more and more ugly. He originally wanted to show off, but when he vomited, he felt depressed. Who knew this guy would be so powerful? But the more he fought, the more depressed he became. At this moment, Ding Haisheng joined in. Gu Qingzhou's pressure suddenly lightened, and he shouted, "Senior brother Ding, I will entangle him with all my strength. You take the opportunity to kill him." "Okay." Ding Hai let out a long roar, walked around behind the enemy, and slashed over with a knife, shadows of the sword. The monstrous man was left and right, and soon fell into a predicament. Meng Xing had 3 options in front of him. 1. Hide on the side. 2. Go forward and hug the 3 women and leave this place. 3. A battle with the sect master of Yunyu sect. The head of Yunyu sect is here, and the system actually gave me a hint. Meng Xing was suddenly surprised. Also, I stepped forward and hugged the 3 women away. Can I do such a difficult move by myself? It's okay to hold 2, but 3 unless you have 3 heads and 6 arms. He decisively chose the first option, staying away from the battlefield and hiding behind a rock. The task has been completed. Get a random reward, Constitution +1. However, senior brother Ding and the others are in trouble. When the sect master of Yunyu sect comes, they will definitely lose, and they must come up with a plan to save them. At this moment, more than a dozen figures came straight from the direction of Yunyu sect. A middle-aged man at the head came faster and whistled, and instantly came to Ding Haisheng and Gu Qingzhou's side, punching one at a time. The 2 were directly beaten and flew out, blood spurting from their mouths. "Arrest these 2 people," said the middle-aged man. Soon, 2 people rushed to Ding Haisheng and Gu Qingzhou's side and put knives on the necks of the 2 people, making them afraid to move easily. "Meet the sect master." The shady man stepped forward, bowed and saluted, saying, "Fortunately, the sect master came quickly, otherwise his subordinates would have been killed by the 2 of them. Many thanks to the sect master for saving you." The sect master of Yunyu sect, Mu Jingkui, glanced at him and said, "Go and arrest the others as well. We can't kill them for the time being." "Yes." With a knife in hand, the shady man quickly beat Li Buxian to the point of vomiting blood and arrested him. Luo Yao, Zhou Ruoqing, and Yeshualian were only at the 6th and 7th stages of the Open Pulse realm, and they were not the opponents of the others. They all turned pale and were arrested. Yang Xiaochui and the 3 arrests from Changning County were not spared either, and they all escorted them to the sect master of Yunyu sect. Mu Jingkui said, "Just these people. There is one more. Escape." The cultivation base is only at the 3rd level of the Pulse realm. The sinister man said, "Send out a few people to capture that person, but none of them can escape." "I can't ruin my plan," Mu Jingkui said. "Yes." The shady man asked a few stronger men to arrest him. "Then, you notified the Jinmu sect Jiankapik and said that their disciples were caught by us. I want them to go back and forth one by one. However, this time, I can't be around Yunuezong. Yunuezong is my roots cannot be discovered by the people of the true martial sect." Mu Jingkui said, "These people, put them in a black prison, and let them never see the light of day. When the matter is over, kill them all." "Yes." Hearing this, Ding Haisheng, Gu Qingzhou, Li Buxian and others were all desperate. Ding Haisheng stared at the sect master of Yunyu sect, and said in a hoarse voice, "Sect master Mu, you are really good at planning, and you actually made such a big circle to plot against us. I didn't expect that Yunyu sect was also established by Demon sect. You all want to deal with my Jinmu sect under the banner of Xiaowu sect." Mu Jingkui glanced at him and said, "That's right. Let those of you who cultivate martial arts think that we are your kind, and then I will deal with you in secret and kill you one by one. True martial arts, there is no need to exist in the future. You people from the demon sect, it's really damn." Ding Hai said. The sinister man kicked Ding Haisheng to the ground, stepped on his body, and said, "If you say another word to the devil, I will kill you with one knife." On the other side, Luo Yao, Zhou Ruoqing, and Yeshualian were so frightened that their faces turned pale, and their hearts were extremely desperate. "Senior sister, we fall into their hands, and I'm afraid we will suffer their insults. Yes, Walian said. We must not be humiliated. If they dare to insult us, we will bite our tongues and commit suicide. Luo Yao said. Meng Xing escaped, he will definitely find someone to rescue us. Zhou Ruoqing said. It's all his fault for this matter. If he hadn't asked us to come here, we wouldn't have fallen into the hands of these guys. Yes, Walian complained. This is because the enemy's calculations are too deep, they will definitely bring us all here, and then kill us all. Luo Yao said. The more they talked, the more desperate they became. When they thought of the dark prison, their eyes were full of horror. At this moment, a man in black clothes, whose entire head was wrapped in black cloth, with only one pair of eyes exposed, appeared in the sight of everyone. The speed of the approaching person was very fast. In front of the sect master of Yunyu sect. Yo, what are you all doing? Go to war. I like things that are hands-on. The visitor said in a hoarse voice, biting a twig in his mouth, glanced at the audience, and said, This person is naturally Meng Xing. He hid nearby and took the opportunity to change to a set of night travel suits that he had prepared in advance. This was prepared when he went down the mountain to brush the system and put it in the small copper. With this storage magic weapon, it is true it is much easier to hide anything. At this moment, he had to come out to deal with these Yunyu sect people and save senior brother Ding and the others. Mu Zhenkui's eyes narrowed. He couldn't feel the powerful aura from this person, but the speed at which the other party appeared in front of him just now was faster than the speed at which he went all out. Who are you? Mu Zhenkui shouted. Yuyu reading www.yuyukangsha.com. The person who plays with you. No, the person who plays with you. Meng Xing said in a snarky manner, his eyes full of disgust. There seems to be some ambiguity about this. I won't kill nameless ghosts under my sword. Report your name. I can't change my name. I can't change my surname. It's Bai Xia. My surname is Bai. My name is Xia. Meng Xing stretched. The crowd is messy in a gust of wind. Seeing that you are dressed in black and numb, and even your head is covered with black cloth, can you be called a white man? Black man is about the same. Meng Xing saw that the big man of prey was still stepping on Ding Hai's hung, and the twig in his mouth spit, and immediately flew towards the big man of prey, like a shooting star flying arrows, instantly inserted into his thigh. Ow! The big man of prey suddenly hugged his thigh, jumped up, fell to the ground with a bang, and hugged his thigh. My leg, my thigh is gone. Oh, it hurts me to death. It's gone. I saw the twig stuck in his thigh, sticking out from the other side, completely piercing his leg bone. It's just a small twig, and it can do this. Mu Zhenkui's eyes were solemn, and he asked himself if he couldn't spit out a small branch, he would pierce the bones of a person's leg. What kind of martial arts is this? Hey, I thought your leg was an iron leg, so I wanted to try it, but I didn't expect that it couldn't resist my twig. I'm really sorry. If you want me to help you treat it, cut this leg off. Meng Xing said. The howl of the big man of prey stopped immediately. His face changed greatly. He quickly got up from the ground, jumped on one leg, away from Meng Xing. This guy is really scary. If he doesn't run, he's worried that his legs are gone. Hey, Ben Baxia is well-intentioned. What are you running for? Meng Xing shook his head. Chapter 32, Bai Xia. The situation is reversed. Mu Zhenkui's face was ugly. He slowly drew out his big sword. The sword light was clear, pointed at Meng Xing, and said, I don't care if you are a white or black warrior, but you dare to meddle in my Mu Zhenkui's business today, so you have to do it. The devil under my knife. Kill. As soon as he moved, the aura all over his body suddenly radiated, and a thick earthy aura condensed on the knife, driving the knife faster, and slammed into Meng Xing. The knife is thick and full of murderous aura. Hey, how do you say you can fight? I'm not ready. Meng Xing said, with a ghostly movement. He suddenly appeared behind Mu Zhenkui, and hit him with an elbow. With a bang, Mu Zhenkui slammed into the air and ran forward. He couldn't stand firm at all, and he couldn't hold back his sword chi. He slashed at one of his subordinates, slashing his body in two, and his energy continued. It also smashed another subordinate. Two of them died in an instant, but they still died under the sword of the sect master of Yunyu sect. This scene made Ding Hai's Hung, Gu Qingzhou, Li Buxian, Luo Yao and others look at it in shock. This method is too powerful? Master? Really a master? But why is there no spiritual power in this person? Did he use pure physical strength? The rest of the Yunyu sect were so frightened that they quickly dispersed. It was really terrifying. It was a waste of time to be affected by this kind of battle. Meng Xing felt the power of his physical body, but he didn't expect that the empowerment of this system would be so powerful, and the agility speed was also very fast, like lightning possessed. This was Meng Xing's first time fighting an enemy. He didn't know how powerful his physical strength was, but he felt that it was slightly stronger than the 3 spiritual veins in his body. In order to develop in a low-key manner, he also took great pains, and did not want people to know his strength. He could only use the alias of Bai Xia and come out to save people, and he did not intend to use the power of the spiritual veins to fight the enemy purely with his physical body. Now it seems that the system is still very powerful, making his physical body so powerful. In fact, the martial arts system also has physical training. For example, the 6th rank Golden Bell realm uses the vitality of the spiritual veins in the body to temper the physical body, making the physical body like a golden bell, and can withstand more powerful resistance. But it is very difficult to want the flesh to contain powerful power. Unless it is like Meng Xing, there is a systematic empowerment, or a cultivation method of the highest grade of heaven, it is possible. However, it is said that the heaven-level best practice method has been lost, and no one can obtain it. Mu Jingkui's eyes were gloomy, but he didn't expect that when he shot, he accidentally cut off 2 of his subordinates. And Meng Xing's exercises were so cunning and bizarre, making him hard to guard against. What did this sudden appearance come to do? Even at a critical moment to obstruct his good deeds. If today's incident were to spread out, the Yunyu sect stronghold that he had spent 2 years building with great effort might not be able to be preserved. Mu Jingkui's eyes were sharp and he let out a whistling sound, waving the knife in his hand. His body was like a milk swallow thrown into the forest, beheading Meng Xing kill. Die. With a bang, the knife flashed to the ground, and a large pit was cracked on the ground, but Meng Xing's figure disappeared. Mu Jingkui was alert in his heart, and moved to the right. A fist had already slammed into him, and he seemed to hear the sound of a broken spine. Boom! Mu Jingkui fell and flew out, throwing a dog chewing and stuffing his mouth with mud. Mu Jingkui was about to go crazy and spit out a mouthful of dirt. As the suzerain of Yunyu sect, he has always been paying attention to his image, but at this moment, he has dropped in many hands. His image must have fallen sharply. When his subordinates see him, they will all think of what he looks like now. How can this be endured? Damn it! I'm going to kill you, Mu Jingkui said angrily. He staggered to his feet, and with a bang, a black demonic energy emanated from his body, instantly covering him. Makes him come down like a demon. At this time, he did not hide his strength. This person has practiced martial arts, and he has also practiced magic and martial arts. Ding Haisheng, Gu Qingzhou, Li Buxian, and others were all very shocked. You must know that magic and martial arts cannot coexist. If you practice the magic door technique and the martial arts technique, it is very easy to cause conflicts between the two. Once the balance is not good, people will easily vomit blood and die. And it is also very difficult to cultivate, and I am afraid that it is difficult for 1 out of 10 million people to successfully cultivate. Unexpectedly, the sect master of Yunyu sect has succeeded in his cultivation. In this way, it is very easy for people to mess up the martial arts sect and fish in troubled waters. Moreover, the sect master of the Moonyin sect, who practiced the demon sect, even reached the 7th grade true demon realm. He was more powerful than everyone present, and even surpassed many elders of the true martial sect. It is simply a peerless monster. Luo Yao, Zhou Ruoqing, Yeswalian, Yang Xiaochui and the others were also very surprised to watch. They rarely saw the masters of the 7th rank fighting. At this moment, it seemed that they were dazzled, and they could hardly see clearly. It's amazing, especially that white man in black who beat up the sect master of Yunyu sect twice, and it was a great fight. However, now that sect master seems to contain a lore move, which makes them a little worried. Magic sect cultivation technique, true demon strike. In the black chi, Mu Jingkui's voice came, and with a swoosh, the black chi converged into the knife in his hand, and his whole body merged with the knife in his hand, and he lost his figure. The shadows of the swords were filled with darkness, dancing in midair, slashing straight down at Meng Xing not far away, as fast as lightning. Meng Xing threw his fists continuously, and bursts of qi burst out, bombarding the knife. When, boom, the sword shadow dissipated, the black energy disappeared, and Mu Jingkui's figure reappeared, staggering back. Meng Xing suddenly appeared behind him, and he punched out with a click, making his bones crack like fried chestnuts. Mu Jingkui slammed and flew out, his face on the ground, another dog chewing shit, with a look of horror in his eyes. Save me? Come on together, he roared. Yes, Sect Master. The big man of prey had long since pulled out the twig stuck in his leg. At this moment, Yuyukanshu www.yuyukanshu.com endured the pain in his leg and surrounded Meng Xing with others. Kill. A dozen people roared, holding weapons in their hands and sullen faces. They all beheaded Meng Xing. The gloomy man also had a grim expression on his face, and he rushed forward without fear of death. Boom, boom, boom. Meng Xing punched one by one, smashing these people to the point of breaking their tendons, and flying out one by one, for a while, mourning all over the place. Some who couldn't bear his punch were beaten to death by him and fell to the ground without making a sound. The yin man spewed blood from his mouth, and fell to the ground. His bones were broken, and he had no strength to resist. Mu Jingkui was shocked and roared. Something appeared in his hand, emitting black energy, rolled him up, and ran away with him in an instant, like a rush of lightning, and disappeared in an instant. Hey, it's not enough? Why did you run away? Don't run. Meng Xing shouted, chased after him, and quickly disappeared. The whole scene was quiet. Apart from the dozen or so wailing demon disciples, there were also more than a dozen weaker people who were also subdued by Ding Haisheng, Gu Qingzhou, Li Buxian, and others. Now the situation has completely reversed. Everyone had an unreal feeling, gathered together and watched with big eyes and small eyes. I felt despair just now, but I didn't expect a white warrior to appear, killing and wounding these Yunyu sect people, and even the sect master of Yunyu sect escaped with serious injuries. Who is Bai Xia? Luo Yao asked, her beautiful eyes glowing with brilliance. The strength of this white man is more powerful than that of the peerless arrogant brother Yao Jianyu, comparable to the elders in the sect, and listening to his voice, it seems that he is younger than senior brother Yao. Chapter 33, Heroic Demeanor. Interrogation. Zhou Ruoqing stared blankly at the direction in which Bai Xia was leaving, feeling that his back was a little familiar, as if he had seen it somewhere. Bai Xia, she murmured, as if trying to figure out who this person is from these two words. Where's Meng Xing? Where did he go? At this moment, Yang Xiaochui was suddenly startled, and he looked around, panicked in his eyes. He escaped just now. Luo Yao said coldly, it's good for him to lead us here. Seeing that the situation is not good, he left us and escaped alone. Meng Xing is not such a person, he must have gone to rescue soldiers. Yang Xiaochui retorted. Whether he is such a person, he knows best. Luo Yao said, feeling disgusted with Meng Xing just now. A few people from the demon sect went after him, and I don't know if he escaped. As long as he's okay, everyone doesn't have to blame him. It's just that these people from the demon sect are too cunning to guard against. If it wasn't for his quick reaction, let us leave Yunyu Peak in time, I am afraid that we are now completely wiped out, and it is even more impossible to come back to life and escape from the hands of these demons. Ding Hai said. Li Buxian nodded and said, I was lucky. This time, a man named Bai Xia appeared and saved us all. But why did he save us? This is the way people see the injustice, draw a knife to help. Seeing us being bullied like this, of course, I would think of helping each other. For a master like him, it is just a hands-on effort. Gu Qingzhou said. However, why does Bai Xia wear black clothes and wrap his whole body like this? Is he afraid of being recognized by others? Li Buxian still expressed the doubts in his heart. Perhaps so. After all, the power of the demon sect is strong. If he is recognized by the demon sect, I am afraid that people will find him in trouble every day and can't get rid of it. So, dressing yourself like this is also the best protection for him. Luo Yao said. Her favorability for this white man rose steadily. Her heart also aroused uncontrollable curiosity, and she really wanted to see what he looked like. Is it a handsome boy? What about his character? Do you treat people kindly? He looked like just now, but he seems to have the kind of lazy, free, and easy, game-like character, laughing and scolding, all from his heart, and a strong self-confidence, which is simply a heroic demeanor. Will you come back? Will we meet again? She murmured in her heart, filled with anticipation. Senior brother Ding, what should we do with these people now? Shall we kill them or them back? Li Buxian said. Send them all back, interrogate them one by one, and ask what happened to Yunyu sect. If these people have committed murder, they will all be taken to Keishikao and beheaded. Ding Haisheng said, revealing in his eyes a chill. The whole body of the sullen man was broken, and his whole body was also abolished. Apart from being able to speak, he couldn't move at all. Ding Haisheng asked the demons to carry him away and bring him back for interrogation. The crowd was divided into two groups, one in front and one behind, and led these demons to Changning County. After walking for a quarter of an hour, he saw Meng Xing lying on the road in front of him. The whole person seemed to be in a coma, and there were several corpses lying next to him. It was the people who were going to chase and kill him. Yang Xiaochui was taken aback, hurriedly stepped forward, helped him up, and patted his face. Meng Xing, wake up, wake up. Meng Xingguo woke up from a dream and opened his eyes pretending to be dazed. What's going on? Few people were going to kill me just now, and I was stunned by a palm. He didn't catch Mu Zhenkui just now. This guy seems to have a magic weapon to escape, and he couldn't catch up at all. He had to circle around and then came back, lying here, and stunned, waiting for others to wake him up. Those people are already dead. Yang Xiaochui pointed to the corpse on the ground. This, who saved me? It's really hard to survive, there must be good luck. Meng Xing said, covering his head. It should be someone named Bai Xia who helped you. He also saved us. Yang Xiaochui said. So it is. I saw that the situation was not good, and I wanted to escape quickly to rescue the soldiers, but I didn't expect to be killed by these people. Fortunately, a savior came, otherwise everyone would be here today. Meng Xing genuinely relieved. Humph. Fortunately, someone came to rescue, otherwise everyone will be taken to the ditch by you today, and it is almost doomed. Luo Yao said coldly. How she sees Meng Xing now is not pleasing to the eye. Meng Xing said, how did I bring everyone into the ditch? The people from the demon sect pretended to be from the Yunyu sect. Can you know in advance? Can you know the conspiracy of the Yunyu sect and their traps in advance? Luo Yao was at a loss for words. Although she knew that Meng Xing was right, she still found him displeased, snorted, and stopped talking. 1. Ignore Luo Yao. 2. Scolded Luo Yao and scolded her. 3. Be docile and ask for peace, and said to Luo Yao, we were lovers in the past life. If we don't meet each other in this life, we will pinch them. Meng Xing glanced at it, decisively chose the first option, stood up, ignored Luo Yao, and walked forward. The other two may be big pits, or it is better not to touch them. Meng Xing didn't want to step in, and he couldn't even see his head. The task has been completed, get a random reward, strength +1. Luo Yao was stunned for a moment. This Meng Xing had such a big temper. She didn't say anything, but the other party put on a stinky face and seemed to ignore it. Gu Qingzhou glanced at Meng Xing, still displeased with this guy, but didn't say anything. Eating slumped in front of the demon sect today also made him unable to lift himself up. Senior brother Ding, let me interrogate this guy. Meng Xing pointed at the sullen man. Okay. Ding Haisheng nodded. The two warriors who died in Changning County were the ones you sent on purpose. No, we caught two warriors from the small gang, beat them to death, and threw them to Changning County. The sinister man said in a hoarse voice. The suzerain had already fled, and apparently would not return to save them. The dark man was a little desperate, and naturally he didn't dare to hide it. You are doing this because you want to lure people from our true martial sect out. What exactly are you doing? Meng Xing said. Naturally, I want to arrest you all www.readwn.com and kill them all, causing chaos in the entire true martial sect. The sinister man said. Are you from the Gore Fiend sect, or from the red-clothed demon sect? Gore demon sect. No, you're lying? You are from the red-clothed demon sect. Meng Xing said. I'm not lying, we belong to the Gore Fiend sect. The sullen man said indifferently. The person who killed my Jian Qifeng Elder Wu should still be in Jian Qifeng, right? Meng Xing said, you guys want to arrest us, you just want to attract the top of Jiankifang, and then that person can be in Jiankifang. Qi Feng made waves and seized the treasure. After he took it, that person can go down the mountain while the chaos is, and no one can stop him. The gloomy man suddenly changed his face and was speechless for a while. And the guy who fished in the troubled waters of Jiankipik was a member of the red-clothed demon sect. Therefore, you are also from the red-clothed demon sect. Meng Xing said lightly. Do you know what the people who mixed into Jinwuzong look like? Meng Xing asked again. I don't know. Only the sect master knows. Those of us have all entered the Yunyu sect in the past 2 years, and there are many secrets that we don't know. The big man finally revealed the truth. So it is? No wonder they want to lead us out. It turned out to be to create chaos and let my Jinwu sect take care of one thing and another. Li Buxian was angry in his eyes. I must find that guy and avenge my master. This guy should be damned. Li Buxian stabbed out with a sword, killing the shady man, so frightened that the 2 demon disciples who carried him couldn't stop backing away. His face turned pale. He's already abolished. Kill him and kill him, bury him. Ding Hai said. We have to go back quickly and find the murderer of Jian Qifeng. Li Buxian said bitterly. Chapter 34. Both as a teacher and as a teacher everyone took these prisoners and finally returned to Changning County. Everyone was relieved, and the rest was handed over to Ding Hai's Hong for interrogation. And Li Buxian, Gu Qingzhou and others were going to rush back to Jinwuzong immediately, report the matter to the sect, and strictly investigate the thieves hiding on Jiankipik. Of course, Meng Xing also went back. On the way, everyone was hurrying in silence. You said, did Bai Xia catch the suzerain of Yu sect? Luo Yao couldn't help but asked. I definitely won't be able to catch it. Meng Xing couldn't help but scolded her. Why? Yes, Walian asked. Bai Xia is just blind, busy, so he can't be caught. Meng Xing joked about his nickname. Meng Xing, are you itchy because of your nonsense? Luo Yao said angrily. You are disrespecting Bai Xia. You must know that they saved us. Since you are still making fun of their name, is this how you treat your savior? Yes, Walian also said. Meng Xing glanced at them. Isn't this reaction too intense? I'm just talking casually, just like I'm going to try my best. However, he was secretly proud that he pretended to be a white man, so he was so popular with them. If they know that Bai Xia is themselves in the future, what will they think? It must be stunned, incredible, and blinded by the dog's eyes. Meng Xing said, my admiration for Bai Xia is like a surging river. How can I disrespect him? It's good that you know. If you dare to destroy Bai Xia's image in the future, be careful and I will beat you up. Luo Yao snorted. Bai Xia's image. Meng Xing remembered how dark and numb his whole body looked. He didn't have an image at all, okay? I don't know what this woman fantasized about the image of Bai Xia. I don't know if I will meet Bai Xia in the future. Luo Yao sighed and said again. Definitely not. Meng Xing scolded her again. Why? Because your strength is too weak. You and him are people from 2 different worlds. How can you meet? Meng Xing said. You. Luo Yao's eyebrows stood upright, her face full of anger. She was about to stab Meng Xing with a sword. Your strength is weaker than mine. How dare you say that my strength is weak? She said angrily. Meng Xing ran ahead in a hurry, and the voice came from a distance. We are half a caddy. Luo Yao slashed the bushes on the side of the road a few times with the splitting sword, regarded the bushes as Meng Xing, and said, I will chop you to death. Senior sister Luo, Meng Xing is only mad at you on purpose. If you are angry, you will fall into his trap. Yes, Walian said. Yes? It's really not right for you to be angry for this kind of person. Luo Yao sighed with relief and returned to her calm appearance. Zhou Ruoqing had a smile at the corner of her mouth, but she didn't speak. She looked at Meng Xing's back, thoughtfully. Gu Qingzhou glanced at Meng Xing and snorted, still disdain for him. 2 hours later, everyone finally returned to Jiankipik. At this moment, the sky was completely dark. Except for Li Buxian, who went to the Peak Master, everyone else separated and went back to their residences. The next day, Meng Xing went to the dining hall to chop wood again early in the morning. In order to keep a low profile, this job should not be lost. Although he has been fishing for 3 days and drying the net recently, he can also show people his identity as a firewood chopping disciple. I'm just a woodcutter, don't come to me if you have anything Don't come to me if you have nothing. As for the man in the red-clothed demon sect hidden by Jian Qifeng, this man's strength should not be much different from his own, so don't be afraid. You just need to check it out secretly. At noon, Xiao Yuluo came to the dining hall to look for Meng Xing, and said, "Where have you been for 2 days? Are you thinking about being lazy again? Come practice with me." I didn't slack off. I went to Changning County with senior brother Li, and found the people from the red-clothed demon sect. Meng Xing followed behind and said. Zhang Suntu looked at Meng Xing with an envious look on his face. In the past 2 days, Xiao Yuluo has come to Meng Xing, and his heart seems to be tied to Meng Xing. Meng Xing didn't know where it was, but he was so favored by the beauty. Meng Xing followed Xiao Yuluo to the back mountain, and talked about the affairs of Changning County along the way. You almost fell into the hands of the people in the red-clothed demon sect. Fortunately, a person named Bai Xia appeared and saved your lives. Xiao Yuluo was very shocked. Yes, I almost won't see you, senior sister, it's extremely dangerous. Meng Xing said. You can't do things like this. In the future, your strength is so weak, and it's too risky to go out. You better follow me and cultivate. Xiao Yuluo said with a frown. 1. Promise Xiao Yuluo. 2. Reject Xiao Yuluo. 3. Said to Xiao Yuluo, Senior sister, you care so much about me, why don't we get married? Meng Xing stared at the third item with wide eyes, and complained in his heart, this broken system makes me think I'm doomed. My dream is to raise fish in a fishing pond. How can I lose an entire fishing pond just for one fish? What's more, his relationship with Xiao Yuluo has not reached the point of talking about marriage. If he speaks out, it will definitely be the end of social death. As for rejecting Xiao Yuluo, what would be the consequences? If you don't listen to me, I'll beat you up. Xiao Yuluo said again. Meng Xing resolutely chose the first item, in order to avoid being beaten. Now, let's be aggrieved. By the time I turn around and call the shots, it's time for me to spank her ass. Okay, senior sister, I will follow you to practice well these days. Meng Xing's tone was gentle. The task has been completed, get a random reward, painting +1 in a few days, I won't tell you when I go out. Meng Xing thought to himself. How can a man limit his freedom for a woman? A man can't lose his great career just for a woman. The two of them practiced in the back mountain for an afternoon, and Meng Xing finally showed the strength of the fourth order open pulse realm. Xiao Yuluo was very satisfied and felt that his hard work had finally paid off. Yu reading www.uukangsha.com. Hurry up and break through to the 7th level of the open pulse realm. I will find you a master with a stronger cultivation base and train you well. Senior sister, can you not find a master? Meng Xing asked. Why didn't you find a master? Xiao Yuluo was stunned. You can be my master, you can be both a master and a senior sister. Meng Xing said, adding in his heart, I just wanted to satisfy the wish of Guo'er and Aunt Xiaolong to fall in love. Moreover, facing a lousy old man who splashed his mouth every day, it would be better to look at Xiao Yuluo, this beautiful beauty. Xiao Yuluo hesitated for a while, then said, it's okay, but you just need to practice hard. I'm afraid you won't be taught by a good teacher and you will fall behind others. No, disciple Meng Xing will work hard. Xiao Yuluo laughed suddenly, feeling that the depression of the past 2 days had disappeared. That smile, like a charming flower, has a beautiful and refined temperament. Senior sister, you are so beautiful. We, Jian Qifeng, are no longer as beautiful as you. Meng Xing couldn't help but praise. Call master. Xiao Yuluo deliberately stern face. 1. Call her master. 2. Step up and kiss and show the image of a macho man. 3. Said to her, Senior sister, such a beautiful time, should we talk about love and do what we need to do? This system has also come to be a demon. Meng Xing had nowhere to complain and chose the first item. Master, have you given a gift to your disciple? Meng Xing opened his mouth and asked. The task has been completed, get a random reward, spirit +1. No. Xiao Yuluo smiled and left alone. You master is not responsible at all. Chapter 35, Delicate Middle-Aged Beautiful Woman. When Yushi, Meng Xing was hanging out on Jianke Peak, triggering the system reward, and by the way, he secretly inspected the people in the red-clothed demon gate. Li Buxian had already reported the matter of the red-clothed demon gate to the Peak Master, and he did not know how the Peak Master would deal with it. The 12 peaks of Jinryu sect generally do not have any major events, and they will not gather together. Usually, they are in charge of their own, so under normal circumstances, they will not alarm the sect master. This man in the red-clothed demon gate hides so deeply. What exactly does he want to do in Jianke Peak? Is it just someone who wants to assassinate Jianke Feng? Confused Jianke Feng? If so, there is no need to hide it so mysteriously. It must be a big picture. Or is there some peerless treasure in Jianke Peak that these people from the red-clothed demon sect are coveting? Meng Xing boldly assumed all kinds of possibilities, but if he wanted to ask for proof, he could only find out who was hiding in the red-clothed demon gate, or ask the person in charge of Jianke Feng. He is a low-level figure and has no way of knowing the secrets of Jianke Peak. In this area of the outer disciples, there is more wool, and there are fewer and fewer system trigger options. After walking for an hour, there are not many attribute points obtained. It seems that I still have to go down the mountain to brush a wave. In the future. It's a pity that I don't have the magic weapon of flying, otherwise I can go to farther places, and it doesn't take much time to go back and forth. 3 days later, on this night, Meng Xing passed the remote courtyard, and the system popped up another option. 1. Move on. 2. Shout out, you are in a private meeting inside, don't think I don't know. 3. Break into the courtyard alone and fight with the people in the courtyard. Meng Xing's scalp suddenly felt numb. 3 times, the system has prompted 3 times. What are the people in this yard doing? Do private meetings have to be so frequent? What the heck? Meng Xing was about to choose the first option and moved on, when suddenly he felt that he only had to pretend to be a white man, and then he would go into the yard and have a fight. It's been a long time since I got a reward from the exercises, so I'll do it once this time. So, Meng Xing chose the third option, found a dark place, changed into black clothes, covered his head, and only showed a pair of eyes. This appearance, in this night, also looks more gloomy. Whoosh! Meng Xing climbed over the wall and entered at an extremely fast speed. Quietly entering the yard. When he came to the inner courtyard, Meng Xing saw a light lit inside and walked over quietly. Come, kiss, I haven't seen you for a few days, I really miss you. A man's voice sounded. No, I've been hiding here for so long, when will you send me out? A woman said in a coquettish voice, making her whole body feel numb. Come on. Don't you want my Tianji sword? From Jianke Feng? As long as I get it, I can send you out. Come, kiss. Good, hee hee. Meng Xing pierced a small hole in the paper window, and saw a middle-aged man holding a pillar and nibbling at it. On the couch next to him, sat a charming middle-aged woman, extremely charming, with a pair of beautiful eyes full of beauty. With the light of the water, it seems to be able to seduce the soul. But the middle-aged man was extremely ecstatic, and seemed to have a soft spot for this pillar. Meng Xing's scalp suddenly felt numb. The middle-aged man vented for a while, twitching all over, and seemed very comfortable and refreshing, then let go of the post and sat on the edge of the couch. The delicate middle-aged woman glared at him and said, Okay, let's go back and find the Tianji sword. If we find it, let's run down the mountain together. Okay. The middle-aged man looked happy, then stood up. Who? The delicate middle-aged woman was very alert, looking out the window. A hidden weapon flew out, with a swoosh, with a gust of wind. The middle-aged man's face changed immediately. He rushed over, picked up a long sword on the table, broke through the window, and came outside. Are you a human or a ghost? The middle-aged man was startled when he saw only a pair of eyes showing in the darkness. The beautiful woman also rushed out, stood beside him, and said, Whether it's a human or a ghost, we'll kill him together. Yes? Our affairs cannot be leaked. The middle-aged man said. The people from the red-clothed demon sect actually hid in this Jianke Peak. It was a good show just now, it was really wonderful. Meng Xing sneered and said. Kill him, this person actually knows about us. The beautiful woman's face changed. As soon as her body moved, she rushed towards Meng Xing, and a red ling flew out of her hand, like a spirit snake, stabbing towards him. The middle-aged man's sword was like flying immortals from the sky, and he also stabbed towards Meng Xing, as fast as lightning. As soon as the two made a move, Meng Xing knew that their strength was equivalent to the middle stage of the spirit refinement realm, on par with him. The task of the third option is really not that easy to complete, and it is two powerful masters in the first place. Fortunately, his strength has also improved a lot. If he broke in the first time the system was triggered, there would only be a dead end. A sword appeared in Meng Xing's hand. The sword light trembled, resisting several swords stabbed by the middle-aged man, and then flickered, avoiding the middle-aged beautiful woman's Hongling. Who knew that the middle-aged beautiful woman's Hongling was like a snake? She suddenly turned around, entangled Meng Xing's long sword, and pulled Meng Xing with her sword. Meng Xing chuckled and said, "No wonder you hid so deeply that no one at Jiankepik knew about it. It turned out that you found an internal counselor. However, you are playing people like monkeys." As he spoke, he had already kicked his foot, and a burst of qi spewed out, turning into a sharp sword. "What did you say? You bastard, how dare you destroy my good deeds?" The middle-aged, beautiful woman said angrily. She hurriedly shook Hongling, let go of Meng Xing's sword, and flew with Hongling, avoiding Meng Xing's attack. "Xia Huai, kill him quickly." "Okay." The middle-aged man Xia Huai's eyes were bloodshot. He swung his long sword, and came in a desperate attack, exuding a wood-yellow aura, urging the wood spirit veins on his body. www.readwn.com. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. He unleashed more than a dozen swords at once, each of which was more formidable than the other. If Meng Xing is not killed and his identity is revealed, he will be ruined and will no longer be able to stand in Jinwuzong. So, don't work hard. The middle-aged beautiful woman also came fighting, and for a while, the air filled the whole yard. Meng Xing kept backing away. Suddenly seeing an opportunity, he jumped up and punched Xia Huai's wrist. With a bang, Xia Huai's wrist hurt, and the sword in his hand almost let go. Meng Xing's body flashed, and he had appeared behind him. His fist slammed down, arousing the strength of his body. Qi flowed out, and with a bang, Xia Huai was knocked out. The middle-aged beautiful woman's Hongling stabbed like a sharp arrow, staring at Meng Xing with a pair of beautiful eyes, and said, "Go to hell." "Who is the suzerain of Yunyu sect?" Meng Xing said suddenly. "How did you know?" The middle-aged beautiful woman's face changed, and the Hongling in her hand paused. "You and the suzerain of Yunyu sect are husband and wife? Your painstaking plan is just for the celestial sword." Meng Xing snorted, and with a flash, he appeared beside her, and slammed his fists in the past. Boom! He slammed her into the air and slammed into the wall, causing the wall to collapse. "Who are you?" the middle-aged beautiful woman screamed. "Mu Zhenkui has already been killed by me," Meng Xing said succinctly and deliberately corrupted her. With a swoosh, he had flashed to Xia Huai's side, swung his fists and slammed it down, causing blood to spurt from his mouth. "The task has been completed, and a random reward will be obtained. Unmoving as a mountain, middle grade Xian level. 1911, 6:20 p.m. Sundur, Chapter 36, One Lion Roar. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you." The middle-aged beautiful woman was a little crazy, and a black gas came out of her palm, and slapped Meng Xing's back fiercely. Meng Xing's figure moved and disappeared, and a voice appeared behind her, saying, "Our strengths are not much different. You can't kill me. And you, a person from the red-clothed demon sect, infiltrated Jiankepik. I am afraid it will be difficult to escape from here." As he spoke, his fists had already punched several times in a row, and after images appeared in the air was like a knife. The middle-aged, beautiful woman felt a chill that pierced her skin. She dodged her body repeatedly, and said in her mouth, "You are secretive, and you dare not show your true face. I am afraid that you are here for ulterior motives. Can you escape from here again?" "Of course I have a way to get out of here. And you, as long as I shout loudly, you pair of Mandarin ducks with the same fate will not be able to escape." People from the dignified true martial sect dare to collude with the people from the red-clothed demon sect. It's really self-inflicted and doesn't want to live. Meng Xing said. Quickly kill him." Xia Huai turned pale in shock. He didn't care about the pain from being beaten all over his body. He held a sharp sword and tried desperately to kill him. The cocky yellow air machine attached to the long sword, drawing streaks of light in the air, especially in the dark. The middle-aged beautiful woman's Hongling also shot forward, attacking from both sides. The two people were also surprised. Although the strength of the person in front of them was not much different, the speed of the other party seemed to be faster, so that they joined forces to attack and kill many times, without success. Moreover, until now, They don't even know what exercises the other party is using, and there is no use of spiritual veins. It seems that it is only the power of pure flesh. The opponent's cultivation level has not yet reached the Golden Bell realm, but the tenacity of the physical body seems to be comparable to the master of the Golden Bell realm. Haha, I won't play anymore, I'll go first. However, before I leave, let you know how good I am. Meng Xing said. What do you want to do? The middle-aged beautiful woman was startled and faintly felt that something was wrong. I don't want to do anything, I just want you to expose and let you enjoy the feeling of being stripped. Meng Xing said, and then a lion roared. The evildoer of the red-clothed demon sect is here. Xia Huey is her inner responder, and they are meeting privately here. Everyone, come and kill them. This sound suddenly shook the four fields and shocked the entire Jianke Peak. Xia Huey and the beautiful middle-aged woman were shocked. They didn't expect that this masked guy was really not afraid of Jianke Feng's master, and he called everyone so loudly. You guys have a good time here. I'm leaving, bye. As he spoke, Meng Xing had disappeared from the place, and left this remote yard very quickly. Xia Huey and the middle-aged beautiful woman were going crazy. They didn't expect Meng Xing to come out like this. They really felt as if they had been stripped naked and had nothing to hide. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the distance, one after another silhouettes came at high speed, and each individual radiated golden light, fire light, white light, yellow light, silver light, all kinds, and dazzling in the night sky. Damn it, I'm going to kill you. The middle-aged beautiful woman screamed. A treasure appeared in her hand, and with a bang, a cloud of black air shrouded her and ran down the mountain with her. Although she hated Meng Xing for destroying her good deeds, she couldn't care so much at the moment. It was still important to escape. Once the peak master of Jianke Peak appears, she will not be able to escape. With her strength, she cannot compete with this peak master at all. Xia Huey was also extremely frightened, but turned around and fled in the other direction. Only by spreading out could he have a chance to escape. Evil? The person who killed my true martial sect still wants to escape. A stern voice resounded in the air. Immediately, a golden sword light streaked across the air like a shooting star, chasing a rushing black air. Let's go chase together and kill the evildoer from the red-clothed demon sect. The evildoer of the red-clothed demon sect is a woman. We must not let this scourge escape. A voice shouted. On the other side, there were also roars one after another. Capture Xia Huey. Xia Huey fled here. Hurry up. Xia Huey, you are the elder of my true martial arts sect. To actually do such a thing to help the emperor and kill the elder Wu, what a damn. Xia Huey, even if you escape to the ends of the earth, I will kill you from the true martial sect. From today, you will be a traitor of the true martial sect. Several elders of Jianke Peak were also chasing after Xia Huey. For a while, the entire Jianke Peak was extremely chaotic, and it even alerted other nearby peaks, and the masters of the true martial sect swarmed down the mountain. In a courtyard of an outer disciple, in a boudoir, candlelight flickered. Luo Yao, Yeswalian, and Zhou Ruoqing were talking about Bai Xia. You said, can we still see Bai Xia? Luo Yao seemed to have a sad look between her brows, and said with a sigh, it's been 5 days since the day Bai Xia rescued us. Well, these days are really long. Looking back on the thrilling thing that day, it was as if it was still happening in front of us. At that time, we were almost in despair. Yeswalian also said, Bai Xia is like a who fell from the sky. While laughing, he beat all the enemies to collapse and saved us. That scene is simply shocking. God also helped us before we met him. Otherwise, they should all be suffering now, and the people from the demon sect don't know how they will torture us. Zhou Ruoqing said, the people of the demon gate are cruel by nature and like to people's spiritual blood. If we are really caught, we will definitely be drained of the spiritual blood and die, just like Elder Wu. Same. Speaking of which, the three of them all had lingering fears. Hey, it would be great if we could see Bai Xia again. We must thank him very much. Tell me, what would he like to eat? I don't know if he likes the mung bean pastries I made. Luo Yao said. Hee, senior sister Luo, you are learning to make mung bean pastries these days just to thank Bai Xia. Do you like someone else? Yeswalian laughed. I like it a little bit, but he definitely doesn't remember saving us. It's useless to like it. Luo Yao shook her head. Well, as long as I can hear his voice. I'm really curious, what does he look like? She said in her heart. Zhou Ruoqing also looked thoughtful. She always felt that Bai Xia was very similar to someone she had seen, but she couldn't remember who it was. Yeswalian held her chin with her hand, and she also looked dazed, not knowing what to think. At this moment, a familiar voice resounded in the night sky, like a dragon bell, hitting the hearts of the three of them. The three of them were inexplicably pleasantly surprised, and suddenly stood up and said in unison, "It's Bai Xia who has come to Arjianka Peak. He also helped us find out the traitor hidden in the section." Luo Yao said. "Yes, let's go out and meet him soon," Yeswalian said excitedly with her chest heaving. The three people rushed out together, and saw that the entire Jianqi Peak was disturbed, and many people rushed out, shouting and killing. The three of them were suddenly confused. Where did Bai Xia go? Where to find him? That's the Peak Master. The Peak Master has already chased and killed the traitor, Yeswalian said, pointing to Jin Guang who was running down the mountain. "Yeah, let's hurry up and find Bai Xia. He must be still at Jianqi Peak. Maybe he is still waiting for us to express our gratitude to him," Luo Yao said. He must have caught the sect master of Yunyu sect. He knew that there were people from the demon sect hiding in Arjianka Peak, so he came to expose it. The elders in the sect have been looking for more than a month, but none of them have been able to find the person from the demon sect. He helped us solve the problem as soon as he came. It's really amazing. Luo Yao's tone was a little excited, and a bright light flashed in her beautiful eyes, which was extraordinarily energetic. Chapter 37. This one is also a monster. Luo Yao, Zhou Ruoqing, and Yeswalian searched all around for a long time, and they searched the entire outer disciple area, but they didn't find Bai Xia. Luo Yao has been promoted to an inner sect disciple, but she still lives in the same place temporarily. She even searched the area of inner sect disciples, but still couldn't find Bai Xia. Bai Xia seems to have disappeared, only listening to his voice, but not seeing him. Very mysterious. When the three of them walked back, they happened to see Meng Xing among a group of outer disciples, looking like they were watching the fun, and they walked over. Luo Yao asked, "Meng Xing, have you seen Bai Xia?" "Bai Xia? Where did the Bai Xia come from?" Meng Xing was stunned. "The one who shouted loudly just now, the one who said, 'The evildoer of the red-clothed demon sect is here,' is the voice of Bai Xia," Luo Yao said. "Your ears are really good. You can hear my voice even from such a distance. Fortunately, I changed my voice. Otherwise I would have been discovered by you. You wouldn't think of Bai Xia in a nightmare, would you?" Meng Xing Heart silently complained. He shook his head and said, "I didn't see it. He is a high-ranking expert. How could I meet him? Someone exposed the evildoer of the red-clothed demon sect, and he might run away, afraid of being caught by our sect." The people in the door regarded him as a monster. After all, he was dressed in pitch black, more like a monster. The three of Luo Yao glanced at each other, and suddenly they were stunned. Meng Xing was right. If Bai Xia stayed here, he would definitely be beaten up. After all, he was dressed like a demon, wearing such dark clothes in the middle of the night, like a ghost. Also, who would think he was a good guy? Therefore, he must have left Jianqi Peak. The three women were suddenly disappointed. "Hey, why is he called Bai Xia? How good is it to be called Black Xia? There is nothing white all over his body. Do you think so?" Meng Xing also deliberately complained about himself. Luo Yao glared at him fiercely and said, "You are not allowed to be so rude to Bai Xia. Next time you do this again, be careful of your itchy skin." Zhou Ruoqing said in a gentle voice, "Meng Xing, what were you doing just now?" "I was about to go to bed just now. I heard the noise outside, so I came out to have a look," Meng Xing said. "Well, let's go back first," Zhou Ruoqing said. The three of them were very disappointed. They returned to their residence and sat on the edge of the table, holding their faces in their jade hands, and were speechless. The noise outside has also disappeared, and I don't know if the thief has been caught. If you haven't reached the 8th grade condensed phase, you can't help at all, and the speed is much slower than others. Therefore, many disciples just came out to watch the excitement. At most, they shouted a few times to catch the thief. With their great momentum, few could help. They all have the hearts of the people who eat melons. "Hey, I missed Bai Xia this time. I don't know when I will see you next time," Luo Yao said. "Yeah, I finally heard his voice and thought I could see him," Yeswalian also said. Luo Yao glanced at her and said, "Junior sister, are you also in love with him? No, I just treat him as an idol and like to see him play with the enemy. He doesn't even know how handsome he is. I only like men who are handsome and who understand my heart. Yeswalian's eyes drifted away. Road. It's fine if you don't like it. Otherwise, we will fight for a man. Luo Yao said. Don't you like senior brother Yao like that? Yeswalian said. I don't like senior brother Yao, I just admire him as a genius. When I saw Vice Ya, I felt that the man I was looking for should be just like him. Luo Yao said. Your mind has changed too quickly. Yeswalian lowered her brows and thought to herself. However, in desperation at the time, the sudden appearance of Baixia was like a life-saving straw caught in their hands, as if it broke the shackles of their hearts, opened their hearts, and made them all feel like they were reborn. With a solid sense of security, he regarded Baixia as his reliance. Naturally, I seem to like Baixia more in my heart. It seems that his appearance is a kind of dependence. Yeswalian also understood Luo Yao's thoughts, because she did too. Although Zhou Ruoqing also looked lost, she was quiet, and she didn't know what she was thinking. The dim firelight reflected on the road. Meng Xing was walking alone on the road, and two beautiful figures came not far away. One say hello to Lu Xiyun. Second, in front of Xiao Yuluo, said to Lu Xiyun, Senior sister, let's meet each other late, you are the goddess in my heart. Third, in front of Lu Xiyun, he said to Xiao Yuluo, Senior sister, although you are also a stunning beauty, compared with Lu Xiyun, your appearance is still a little worse. Meng Xing looked over there and saw two peerless beauties on a par with each other. In the hazy firelight, they looked even more beautiful and unparalleled. One is Xiao Yuluo, and the other is naturally Lu Xiyun. Thinking that when the system first appeared, there was a task for me to say I love you to this senior sister Lu. Fortunately, I didn't seek death. If I did say it, I would be out of luck. Now I finally see her in person. Before, he heard that Ying Xiaochui was bragging about how beautiful senior sister Lu was, and he met him by chance. But Meng Xing had never seen her before, only heard of her famous name, but never met her. That's how low-level disciples are, and some people are not what you want to see unless you break free from the shackles of this level. Meng Xing took another look at Xiao Yuluo and Lu Xiyun. Well, senior sister Xiao is slightly inferior, but not bad. She also has a unique temperament and has a very attractive charm. And senior sister Lu is not only beautiful, but also has a sense of glamour, with a face like melon seeds, curved eyebrows, eyes like stars, and a purple dress. She looks very noble. The chest is full, the figure is tall, and it is very expected. Xiao Yuluo came over and said, Meng Xing, why haven't you gone back to rest? Let's go back. Yu reading www.yuyukangshu.com. Senior sister, have you caught the evildoer of the red-clothed demon sect? Meng Xing said, and glanced at Lu Xiyun's chest again. This one is also a evildoer. I didn't catch it. It seems that the evildoer used a magic weapon and escaped too quickly. Xiao Yuluo said. This is senior sister Lu Xiyun. You don't need to look at her secretly. Xiao Yuluo stared at Meng Xing's small movements. Meng Xing chose the first item, and the other two are things that offend the beautiful senior sister, so it is better not to do it. Hello, senior sister Lu. Meng Xing greeted with hand in hand. Lu Xiyun nodded and did not speak, revealing a cold and arrogant personality. Really? Rejecting people thousands of miles away? This kind of stubborn stone is difficult to touch, and it is not the dish of poor monks. Meng Xing complained in his heart. The task has been completed. Get a random reward, strength +1. Xiao Yuluo said, go back to rest early, and we will continue to practice tomorrow. The attitude of the master is too serious. Meng Xing nodded, greeted him, and walked to the other side. Xiao Yuluo and Lu Xiyun continued their journey. This is the little junior brother you like, Lu Xiyun said with red lips lightly parted. He is well versed in piano skills, and he taught me the song the Liangzhu. Xiao Yuluo smiled slightly. It turns out that it is a rare talent, but the cultivation base is a bit poor, Lu Xiyun said. He spent a few years chopping firewood in the dining hall and was delayed, so I taught him personally and urged him to cultivate, just to make him catch up with other people and not bury talents. Xiao Yuluo said. Yeah, Lu Xiyun responded lightly. Senior sister, how have you been writing poetry recently? Have you thought of a good poem? Xiao Yuluo changed the subject to avoid embarrassing conversation. Chapter 38. Discussion. No. How easy is it to write poetry? When inspiration comes, it's naturally easy. It's just that the inspiration is elusive, Lu Xiun said. However, recently I heard a poem that senior brother Yao collected from the mountain. It's very good. What poem? Xiao Yuluo asked casually. The bright moon separates the branches and frightens the magpies, and the breeze sings the cicadas in the middle of the night. The fragrance of rice flowers says a good year, and I listen to the sound of frogs. Well, we are walking at night. Although there is no bright moon, there are lights lit up. It is also when the breeze is in the middle of the night, which is a bit in line with the artistic conception in the poem. If we walk on the mountain village trail now, we can fully feel the beauty and happiness described in this poem, Lu Xiun said. When it comes to poetry, she speaks eloquently. Xiao Yuluo smiled and nodded, a little bored and didn't quite understand it, but it was still wonderful to communicate with Meng Xing by playing the piano. She also heard Meng Xing tell the story of the Liangzhu. A pair of people who fell in love died together, turned into butterflies, and flew together. It was poignant and moving. Senior sister, you are not only a genius in cultivation, but also a genius in poetry. If you go for the female champion, you will definitely be successful. Xiao Yuluo still praised. Xiao Yuluo really admires this senior sister Lu. Her cultivation base is already at the 9th rank of the condensation realm, and she will soon step into the spiritual refinement realm and become a leader of the younger generation. Xiao Yuluo once wanted to catch up with her, but found that no matter how hard she tried, she seemed to be a little behind her. She was like a rising star who could never catch up. In the end, Xiao Yuluo had no choice but to give up chasing, and understood a truth. Some things are incomparable. Comparing people will only make people angry. Just be yourself and stick to your own efforts to cultivate. Lu Xiun shook his head and said, Don't laugh at me, learning poetry and songs is just my way of entertainment. If I really want to compare with those talented girls who study hard, I'm still far behind. It is said that our Dakin country, the third princess, who was once admitted to the champion, became the only female champion. 3. Princesses. Xiao Yuluo said, She has been well-bred since she was a child, so she is naturally better than us. It's just that the genius who wrote this nocturnal poem is much better than me. I can't write such a beautiful, elegant, simple, and natural verse. So, don't make fun of me, Lu Xiun said. Senior sister, don't underestimate yourself. Just keep working hard, you must be no worse than them, Xiao Yuluo said. Well, yes. So I need to study the way of poetry, Lu Xiun said. After a pause, she said again, Tomorrow I plan to go to Changning County to see it. It is said that this poem is hung in the Yuexian restaurant. The genius who wrote the poem created a kind of calligraphy, which attracted many scholars to watch it. Go and see it in person. Research can better understand the mood of the original author. Xiao Yuluo was a little speechless, and ran so far, just to read a poem. Wasn't it boring? However, she also likes playing the piano very much, and when she hears elegant and moving tunes, she also wants to learn, so she also understands the mentality of people who like poetry, calligraphy, and painting. It's a pity, I heard that senior sister Lu used to be the daughter of a scholarly family. She was sent to the Jinwu sect to practice martial arts because of her family's great distress. Xiao Yuluo sighed in his heart. The two shadows drifted away, and calm was restored on the sidewalk. In the discussion hall, the 5 main members of Jianke Peak were seated, namely, the Peak Master Mo Ziyuan, the Chief Elder of the Law Enforcement Hall Li Gufei, the Second Elder Mo Jiankaio, the Third Elder Zhang Gufeng, and the Chief Elder of the Personnel Hall Gu Jingkai. The faces of the 5 people were a little gloomy. They chased for most of the night, but they even let the 2 traitors escape. Xia Hui really deserves a dam. We must issue a killing order, so that all the masters of the 12 peaks of the true martial sect must kill this traitor, and we must get rid of this traitor. Mo Ziyuan said coldly. Yes, Peak Master. I will go to other peaks tomorrow and issue a killing order. If the master of the 12 peaks kills Xia Hui, he will be rewarded with 100 taels of gold, or a body-tempering pill. Li Gufei, the chief elder of the Law Enforcement Hall, said respectfully. The traitor of the red-clothed demon sect is a woman, but I don't know what she is like. It's a little hard to catch her, said Gu Jingkai, the chief elder of the Human Resources Hall. As long as Xia Huey is caught, you can force him to reveal the information about this female traitor. Mo Jiankaya said. Elder Wu's disciple Li Buxian and other disciples went down the mountain to assist Ding Haisheng, the catcher of Changning County, to investigate the case, and found out that Mu Jingqi, the suzerain of Yunyu sect, and this female traitor from the red-clothed demon sect are in a group, and they want to take me from Jianke Peak. The disciples kidnapped, led our high-level figures from Jianke Peak to come down the mountain to rescue, and gave this female traitor a chance to create chaos and plot wrongdoing on Jianke Peak. Li Goofy Eye said, I've been patrolling secretly these days, but I haven't found this female traitor. She is really cunning. She actually seduced Xia Huey as an inner responder, and has repeatedly evaded my inspection. This female traitor, hiding in my Jianke Peak, what does she want to get? Peak Master, do you know? Zhang Gufeng said. Mo Ziyuan shook his head and said, I don't know. I don't have any peerless treasures in Jianke Peak. They are all swordsmen. They are nothing more than swords. Where are the treasures? The sect master Mu Jingqi of Yunyu sect also sent someone to check to see if they could find anything. Yes, Peak Master. Li Goofy Eye said. Who is the one who reminded us this time? How did he know that the man in the red-clothed demon sect was hiding here? How did he sneak up to my Jianke Peak? Didn't the night watchman of Jianke Peak find it? This person is the enemy, it's a friend, but also unknown. Mo Ziyuan asked a few questions in a row with a rather stern expression. I went to the remote yard to check, and there are traces of fierce fighting in the yard. This person fought with the female traitor and Xia Huey of the red-clothed demon sect for a while. www.readwn.com. The yard stayed in the yard. There are bloodstains. This person can retreat calmly, indicating that the cultivation base is also in the middle stage of the 7th grade god refinement realm, and his strength should not be underestimated. It is also extremely easy to avoid the night watchman. Li Goofy Eye said. So, this person secretly came to my Jianke Peak. I'm afraid he's also uneasy and kind. He only alarmed us because he couldn't defeat the female traitor and Xia Huey's alliance. Gu Jingkai said. No, I met Li Buxian just now and asked about it. He said that this person was a chivalrous man who once fought against the sect master of Yunyu sect and saved their lives. His name was Bai Xia. He escaped. It is possible that he had been chasing the sect master of Yunyu sect and had chased him here. Li Goofy Eye said. Bai Xia, a chivalrous man? Let's check this person too, to see if he is an enemy or a friend. It may also be a trick of the red-clothed demon sect, so let's be careful. Mo Ziyuan said. Li Goofy Eye nodded. The people from the red-clothed demon sect have always been scheming, and no one knows what tricks they will play. If the white man is pretending to be a man from the red-clothed demon sect, it is also possible to deliberately gain goodwill and conspiracy. Okay, be sure to find these two traitors as soon as possible, avenge Elder Wu, and see what they are plotting. After speaking, Mo Ziyuan stood up and left the discussion hall. The elders also went to perform their respective tasks and left here. Another beautiful day. In the morning, Meng Xing got up from the bed, stretched his waist, his bones rang like fried chestnuts, and he felt comfortable. Well, go chopping wood. I am a disciple of chopping wood, and chopping wood is my daily homework. Walking out of the room, I came to the dining hall, and saw Luo Yao 3 people sitting there eating breakfast. Chapter 39, One stunning woman seeing Meng Xing, except for Zhou Ruoqing, who smiled and said hello. Luo Yao and Yeswalian just glanced at each other and continued to eat rice porridge. Meng Xing asked for a bowl of porridge and a few meat buns, and sat down to eat. Did you find Bai Xia last night? Meng Xing chatted with Zhou Ruoqing while eating. No, as you said, Bai Xia must have gone down the mountain, and dare not stay on the mountain. Zhou Ruo said lightly. Well, Bai Xia is really amazing. He actually exposed the conspiracy of the red-clothed devil sect, and made the people of the red-clothed devil sect invisible. He has really helped us a lot. We really should reward him. Meng Star said casually. When it came to Bai Xia, Luo Yao and Yeswalian listened attentively, looking a little excited. Yeah, however, the Peak Master has just issued an order to kill. Whoever kills the traitor Xia Huey will get 100 taels of gold, or a body-tempering pill. Zhou Ruoqing said. Well, the Peak Master is also very stingy. Killing Xia Huai only cost 100 taels of gold, at least 1,000 taels of gold. Meng Xingxin said. He said in his mouth, what is the use of the tempering body pill? Body tempering pill can quench our body, speed up our cultivation and attract spiritual energy, making the body and spiritual veins more compatible, and one is worth 100 taels of gold. Zhou Ruo said lightly. Oh, it's so expensive. Meng Xing said. Those who have no talent for cultivation, but are rich, can use Krypton gold to buy resources to increase the speed of cultivation. Bai Xia is mysterious, and his clothes are all black and numb. You have to be careful when you meet him, lest you be tricked by him and help him count the money. This kind of person is not a good person at first sight. Meng Xing deliberately ran on his white man image. You are not a good person. You are not a good person in your whole body. Luo Yao couldn't help saying. Oh, I've shown you all over my body? You actually know that I'm not a good person. Meng Xing said. You, shameless. Luo Yao said, a little embarrassed. Shameless men like to communicate with shameless women. Meng Xing said. Go away. Luo Yao said angrily. Meng Xing wiped his mouth, stood up, and said, goodbye. Never, see you again. Luo Yao gritted her teeth. Meng Xing shook his head and went to the backyard to chop wood. If I kill Xia Huai, I can get 100 taels of gold. Shall I kill him and earn 100 taels of gold? Meng Xing thought to himself. It's hard to make some money these days. 100 taels of gold, equivalent to 1,000 taels of silver, can lead to a comfortable life. However, it is not easy to find Xia Huai. This guy must have run away, and he doesn't know where he is hiding. In this era, there is no surveillance or the like. Finding someone is tantamount to finding a needle in a haystack. It is entirely based on luck. The days passed very quickly. Half a month passed by in a flash. The days were peaceful, and nothing major happened in Jianke Peak. In addition to teasing senior sister Xiao every day, the rest of the time is chopping firewood, cultivating, and brushing the system. The days are also very fulfilling. And Meng Xing's cultivation has also broken through to the peak of the spirit refinement realm. The condensed spirit has grown a lot. The spiritual veins in the body are also stronger. The spirit and spirit are more compatible, and the speed of the weapon is also faster. Meng Xing also took the time to cultivate the immovable mountain art of the middle grade Xian level to the peak of the spiritual realm. He has 4 spiritual veins in his body, and his natural strength is also a lot stronger. And the strength he showed is now the 5th rank of Open Pulse realm. When Xiao Yuluo saw Meng Xing's great progress, he was even more excited and trained Meng Xing carefully. On this day, Li Buxian, Gu Qingzhou, and Ying Xiaochui came to him together. Li Buxian said, Meng Xing, there is a monster eating people in Changning County. Senior brother Ding was at a loss, and sent a letter to ask us to help. My strength is so low, it would be to die if I go. Meng Xing said. Monsters eat people? I knew that there are monsters in this world, but I have never seen the real monsters. After that monster ate people, he didn't know where it was hiding. Senior brother Ding searched for 5 or 6 days, but he couldn't find it, and he had no clue. You are smart, and senior brother wanted you to help. Li Buxian said. Is there any reward? Meng Xing asked. Yes, the county government has put up a reward. If you find a monster, you will be rewarded with 100 taels of silver. If you kill the monster, you will have 500 taels of silver. Li Buxian said. This reward is too small. The county magistrate is stingy. Meng Xing said. Gu Qingzhou frowned and said, are you going? Gu Qingzhou was angry when he saw Meng Xing like this. A guy with such a strong cultivation base is still holding an heir and letting him go. In fact, he already values him. Although there is only 100 taels of silver, for senior brother Ding's sake, I will go and help. Meng Xing said. He had a good impression of Ding Haisheng, and this senior was still very responsible in his work. Moreover, Meng Xing also wanted to take the opportunity to brush up on the system. Recently, he has visited all the towns under the mountain, and the number of options in the system has been reduced a lot. When the 4 walked out of the dining hall, they saw Luo Yao and the other 3 waiting outside. The 3 of you are going too? With such low strength, you can't help much if you go. You can only be used as a fuel bottle. I almost cried last time. Meng Xing said, not at all aware of his low strength. You just cried? You were so scared that you ran away, and you still have the face to say it here. Luo Yao said. You are the fuel bottle. If senior brother Ding hadn't specifically asked you to go, we wouldn't have come to you. Yes, Willian also said. Meng Xing glanced at Zhou Ruoqing and said, it's better senior sister Ruoqing. She is also gentle and beautiful. Be careful not to marry the two of you in the future. You. Luo Yao's chest heaved with anger. Yes, Willian also gritted her teeth and clenched her fists tightly, wishing she wanted to beat Meng Xing. Zhou Ruoqing smiled softly, her face as gentle as water. After fighting for a while, Yu read www.yuukangshu.com. The 7 people began to descend the mountain, and everything was safe along the way. Meng Xing took the opportunity to brush system tasks. 2 hours later, 7 people appeared at the gate of Changning County. When they passed the Yuxian restaurant, they found that there were still many scholars watching the calligraphy and painting. Let's go in for a meal, Meng Xing suggested. Recently, the food in the dining hall is tired, and Meng Xing also wants to change his taste. Although the food and drinks at Yuxian restaurant were incomparable to those in the previous life, they were still decent. No money, Gu Qingzhou said. Poor ghost. Meng Xing said. Are you rich? Gu Qingzhou snorted. The last time I sold a painting and calligraphy, I made 50 taels of silver, and I haven't spent any money yet. Meng Xing moved his hand, and a piece of silver appeared like a conjuration. Gu Qingzhou's face was ugly, and he was determined to make more money, otherwise he would lose all his face in front of Luo Yao and others. The 7 people walked into the Yuxian restaurant. The owner of the restaurant saw Meng Xing, his eyes lit up, and he said, Meng Gongzi, come here. Welcome. Your business here is very good? It's just booming, Meng Xing said with a smile. Thanks to your poetry, thanks to your unique calligraphy, the reputation of my Yuxian restaurant has spread to several counties, making students from all counties come here to watch and think about calligraphy, painting and poetry. Boss Zhao wrote. SHH. Be quiet, I don't want others to know that I wrote it to avoid trouble, Meng Xing said. However, someone has been waiting for you here for more than 10 days. I want to see you and exchange poetry and calligraphy with you, Boss Zhao said. Who? Meng Xing asked. A stunning woman. Do you want to see me? Boss Zhao said enviously. Chapter 40, Lu Xiyun and #039, shock. Boss Zhao murmured in his heart that he is a good scholar, and he wrote a good book, and the beautiful women are rushing to it, and he can't wait to post it upside down. Just to see Meng Xing, this stunning woman, lived in the Yuxian restaurant for more than 10 days. You must know that the Yuxian restaurant is the most expensive in Changning County, and each night's stay costs a tael of silver, not including food and drink. Just a little rich woman. Boss Zhao had already told the woman that Meng Xing didn't know when she would come, but they didn't care at all and wanted to wait. Boss Zhao is helpless and too lazy to take care of it. Anyway, he has money to make. When Luo Yao, Zhou Ruoqing, and Yeswalian heard the stunning woman, they immediately looked over, and they were also a little curious about how stunning this stunning woman looked. Women like to compare looks, and they are no exception. Meng Xing shook his head and said, No, I know my own affairs, I am just a porter of poetry, and if I want to communicate poetry with others, it is only myself who makes a fool of myself. Boss Zhao was a little surprised, the stunning woman didn't want to see him. This young master Meng is really unique. However, since the other party didn't want to see him, he naturally couldn't force it. So as not to offend Meng Xing put the silver in his hand to Boss Zhao and said, Give us a table of wine and vegetables. Boss Zhao quickly handed the money back to Meng Xing and said, No, as long as you come to us, we will cover everything in the future. Meng Xing was a little embarrassed and said, Boss Zhao, it's not good for you to lose money all the time. No loss. Instead, I made more money than before. However, if you think of a good poem in the future, write me one. Boss Zhao laughed. This shrewd guy also wants to spend the least amount of money to prostitute for free. The businessman is really a businessman, and he is very good at doing business. Meng Xing patted him on the shoulder and said, Okay, I will also stay with you at night. Being used to living in this comfortable place, Meng Xing didn't want to live in the residence arranged by the county government. Boss Zhao arranged a good room for them, and soon the restaurant staff brought a table of wine and food. After everyone finished eating and drinking, they drank tea for a while, and seeing that it was still early, they wanted to go to the county office to say hello to Ding Haisheng. At this moment, the door of the room suddenly opened, and a stunning woman walked in. When everyone saw it, they were stunned. Gu Qingzhou quickly stood up and saluted, saying, "Senior Sister Lu." Li Buxian, Luo Yao and others also stood up one after another, and bowed their hands together to salute. The person who came was Lu Xiyun, with a delicate face with light makeup, red lips, and white teeth, a picturesque jade face, a purple dress, and a graceful figure, revealing a peerless and refined temperament, and the whole person looked very cold and glamorous. Lu Xiyun was stunned for a moment, and said, "It turned out to be you. Did I go to the wrong room?" I went out and looked at the room number and said, "That's right. Senior Sister Lu, who are you looking for?" Gu Qingzhou asked. "It's Mr. Meng who wrote the night poem downstairs. The restaurant staff said that Mr. Meng is in this room." Lu Xiyun said, "Senior Sister, wouldn't it be you who waited here for more than 10 days just to wait for the person who wrote the poem?" Luo Yao asked. "Yeah, I want to exchange poetry and calligraphy with him," Lu Xiyun said. Zhou Ruo pointed at Meng Xing lightly, and said, "Senior Sister, Meng Xing wrote that poem, and young Master Meng is him." Lu Xiyun was suddenly shocked, her eyebrows raised lightly, her red lips slightly parted, and she said, "Meng Xing, are you the genius who wrote this poem?" She remembered the scene of meeting Meng Xing that night. She and Xiao Yuluo met him. That was the first time they met. This Meng Xing looked bland and polite, but he didn't make any impression on her. If she hadn't met today, she would never have thought of Meng Xing. By the way, Xiao Yuluo mentioned that the Liang Zhu she played was also taught to her by Meng Xing. It seems that he is not only good at playing the piano, but also good at writing poetry. She really did not expect that an outer disciple turned out to be that erudite and talented person, completely different from what she imagined. What she imagined was a scholar wearing a Confucian shirt, polite and refined. No wonder Xiao Yuluo attached so much importance to this junior brother from the outer sect. It turned out that this person really had something special. She was stunned. Occasionally boring things made Senior Sister Lu laugh. "I really don't dare to be called a genius," Meng Xing said. Lu Xiyun shook his head and said, "The poem you wrote has a profound artistic conception, and it is vivid and vivid. It is not something that ordinary people can do." Meng Xing smiled and said nothing. He is just a porter of poetry, and he does not understand the profound truth, so it is better to say less. Don't say a few words, maybe people still think of themselves as an expert. "Junior brother, can you explain to me the meaning of this poem?" Lu Xiyun said. "Then explain a few words." "Senior Sister, please take a seat," Meng Xing said. "The meaning in this poem is easy to explain." Meng Xing took notes when he was reading in his previous life, so he started talking at length. Luo Yao, Zhou Ruoqing, and Yeswalian looked at Meng Xing and Lu Xiyun talking about poetry, and became dazed for a while. In their eyes, Meng Xing seemed to be an erudite and talented person, but they seemed to understand wrong. Listen understandably. Looking at Senior Sister Lu again, she listened with relish and asked a question from time to time. After a quarter of an hour, Meng Xing finished speaking, took a cup of tea and drank tea, moistened his throat, and boasted that his throat was dry. Lu Xiyun said, "Junior brother, your calligraphy is also unique and very beautiful. Can you write me a calligraphy and painting so that I can learn to copy it?" I also told the restaurant owner that I wanted to buy that painting and calligraphy, but the restaurant owner could not survive. Ken 100 taels of silver, a calligraphy and painting too, said to Senior Sister Lu. "Senior Sister, calligraphy and painting are so boring. Why don't I write you a love poem to express my deep love for you?" 3. Said to Senior Sister Lu, "Kiss me 3 times and give you a calligraphy and painting." Looking at the 3 options that appeared in front of him, Meng Xing only wanted to complain, "The system is acting as a demon, and every time it wants to kill me." He decisively chose the first option. Yu reading www.yuyukangshu.com. Okay. Meng Xing nodded and added, "However, 100 taels of silver each. The task has been completed. Get a random reward, strength +1." Li Buxian, Gu Qingzhou, Luo Yao and the others almost fainted when they heard this sentence. This Meng Xing actually got into Qian's eyes, wrote a calligraphy and painting for senior sister Lu, and also asked for money. Gu Qingzhou scolded, Meng Xing, how can you be so rude? Senior sister Lu wants you to help you write a calligraphy and painting, but you still want to collect money from senior sister Lu. This is a fair deal, how can we not charge? If you want to do it, you can write. Meng Xing said. Gu Qingzhou was so angry that he almost vomited blood. If he could write as much as he wanted to senior sister Lu, as long as senior sister Lu was willing. It's a pity that senior sister Lu has never looked down on his things, and is even scornful to him. In Gu Qingzhou's eyes, Meng Xing was able to win senior sister Liu's favor, yet he had to accept her money, which was a sin. Everyone else can't wait to be nice to senior sister Lu, and they can't wait to flatter senior sister Lu and get a different opinion from her. The last time you sold someone else was only 52, Gu Qingzhou said angrily. It's a price hike now. Lu Xiun was also stunned for a moment, and then a faint smile appeared on his face, which made Meng Xing have a feeling of looking back with a smile and a beautiful life. Alluring charm. What a beautiful flower, I really want to pick it. Meng Xing muttered in his heart. Lu Xiun nodded and said, okay, junior brother doesn't have the pedanticism of those scholars. It is necessary to make money. 100 taels of silver, the deal. After saying that, he took out a 100 tael silver note and put it on the table.